Okay, guys, they say third time's a charm, and this is my third time trying to make this video. So, let's have at it. Uh, got this at my local comic book shop. Actually, I got two of them. This is the Harley Quinn Zero from the New 52. I tell you, it's one of them days. New 52 and the 1 in 25 variant. Roughly it's going for $25. I got them for $7 a piece at my local comic book shop. Excuse me. I also picked up Harley Quinn #6, purportedly to be the first appearance of punk rock Harley, and the cover is done by Bill Sienkiewicz, a very good cover. I'm so glad Sienkiewicz is finally coming to his own. I mean, he came into his own a long time ago, but finally getting the recognition that he should have for his art. Because to me, when you see an artist that when they start out in the beginning, and their art is almost like trade art, well, I mean as far as like Kurt Swan type, where it's just a basic type artist, Kurt Swan, Sal Buscema. But then when you see an artist evolve into their own type of art style and being recognized for evolving, it's a great feat, I got this book. I saw it when it first came out the first time. They had it in the shop, but at that time they wanted like pretty good premium for it. Got it for $3. Saved 99 cents off the cover price. It's Harley Quinn #26. This is the Batman rendition from the Batman vs. Superman movie. I also picked up another copy of Vengeance #1, first appearance of America, which I don't know if it's still holding its value. I haven't checked, but it's a good book to have anyway. Toxin. Oh, hold on, I got them out of order. Hold on just a second, people. I got Toxin. It's a 6-issue limited series, but I only have the first 4 issues of it. Toxin is the son of Carnage, and I figured it's a good time to pick them up. Got them for less than cover price. That was issue #1. Dang, I'm still doing this backwards. This is just not my day. Issue #2, which is a crane cover. Issue #3 and issue #4. I don't have 5 and 6, but eventually I'll find them. They're not really hard to find. This book is still relatively new. Picked up some Spawn, 132, 124, and 122. Now, 124 and 122, I got straight from somebody bringing their books in, and so particularly funny about these two books, they were both put in one bag together, but it wasn't a comic book bag. It was one of those vacuum sealed freezer bags that you auto seal, where it sucks the air out, makes a tight seal. So they were put in together like this. 124 was on top of 128. I didn't know what the second book was at that time. So I bought both, the one pack, which it was 3 books, and it was a Star Wars book in it. I'm not going to show that because that book had so many spine ticks in it. It was unrealistic. I couldn't even understand why they even put that book in there. In fact, this issue here, 122, has a lot of spine ticks too. But they had it vacuum sealed. So my comic book shop, he sold them to me for $10 for all 3. Not knowing that when I got home and opened it up, I would be just so disappointed with, it's got so many spine ticks. It's just worthless. The book is really worthless. And I got a Spawn #50 for cover price. Went back into my bin, my book, so to speak, and I started pulling out some interesting books. This book I got in the dollar bin, Spawn Resurrection #1, which is pretty cool. I think it's a John Boy Myers cover because I do see John Boy on signature on it. It's a pretty good book. And I wanted to show this book again. I've always been kind of perplexed by Haunt because it's came after Spawn, way after Spawn, but he's like to me a mishmash of Spawn and Spider-Man. He's got the moves and look of Spider-Man, but he has the Necro type powers of Spawn. And I don't even know if this book is still in production or not. I'm not sure. But this is the first issue of the Haunt book by Todd McFarlane and Robert Kirkman. I found this at Books A Million. This is like my 5th copy of this book, and it's still out there because I still left 2 copies there. They were hidden, but I found this one. This one's in great condition, no spine ticks whatsoever, but the other 2 had a few spine ticks, so I left them. Plus, I already had enough. Don't need any more. That's Art Germ cover, by the way, for issue #1 of Robotech. Another Art Germ cover I got for cover price. This is Oz #1 from Zenescope Comics. Art Germ cover. And another Zenescope book, Grimm's Fairy Tales, featuring Robin Hood Wanted, cover A #1 with Art Germ art. And pulled out Captain Atom #1. This is the 2nd print. Tell by the different color hue, it's more on the reddish side. Is also an Art Germ cover. I'm not sure if I have the original #1 cover for the New 52 Captain Atom, because at that time I was not really interested in Captain Atom. Figured this would be interesting to show. This is the Cartoon Network presents Space Ghost #1. I've always loved Space Ghost. It's one of my favorite characters when I was a kid as far as superheroes were concerned. It just was, his color scheme, the way he looked, it just fit. It was an all-around perfect fit. Pull this one. I haven't seen too many people show this book. What If Wolverine Battled Conan the Barbarian? Interesting subject. I wish it was in better condition. I'm looking at it now, see some spine ticks, and the cover looks a little on the rough side. I pulled these out because of what's going on with Domino, Cable, Deadpool, and the hype that's being pushed out for this next movie, and the resurgence of interest in their early appearances. This is a nice book to have. In fact, I found this is like #5 or whatever that I have. I would just, when they were in the dollar bins, I would just pick them up. I mean, I always felt something about these early type books. And this other one, that's X-Force #23 with Domino and Deadpool on the cover, by the way. And this is a newsprint version of X-Force #15 with Deadpool and Cable. Now, this book was in the dollar bins for a long, long while. In fact, it was so many that I don't care basically where I went, in every almost comic shop that I went into in the dollar bins, this book was lagging in there. But now this book is not in there no more. I mean, you can't find it. Rarely you'll find it in the dollar bin now. And the book has jumped up in price. I expect it to go even higher. It's still reasonable. I don't think it's over $10, but still, I think this is the 2nd appearance of Deadpool, and Cable, and it's a Caputo cover. I mean, it's like got triple win all over it. This is another interesting book. This is Justice League Rise and Fall special #1 for a one-shot. What's so interesting about it, it's an Art Germ cover. And to see Art Germ do a cover without a female in it is, to me, special. And This is a great cover of Oliver Queen. You know. And I don't know if you can find it in the dollar bins. It's not, I mean, as far as price, it's not worth anything, but it's just how many did they put out at the time. I don't think there was that many of them out. So you may have a little problem finding it. But I mean, like I said, price-wise, you shouldn't have a problem with it, but it's just the fact that how many were put out that might be the problem that you may face. Found this interesting. Rob Zombie Spook Show International #1. And what I found interesting about it is a J. Scott Campbell cover. This is, I would think, more of an obscure type of book for J. Scott Campbell, for all the J. Scott Campbell fans. It's a book to add to your collection or to your want list. Speaking of J. Scott Campbell, I got Danger Girl and the Army of Darkness, J. Scott Campbell cover, #1. This book I found at Books A Million, and what it was hidden. Because when it came out, I couldn't find it anywhere. I was looking all over for this book, Street Fighter and Friends Swimsuit Special, 2017 issue. It's a hard book to find. And, I mean, even when it came out at my comic book shop, they didn't have any, or if they did, they had to sell out minutes before I got there because there were none available. I'm sorry, that's a lie. There were some available, but not this cover here. Just the cover that I was searching for. This book fooled me back in the day. Well, I thought it was an Adam Hughes cover, but it's not. It's a Sook. And it looks so much like an Adam Hughes cover. I mean, down to the faces, the way the hair is done, and just the posing. I mean, it looks like an Adam Hughes book, but actually, like I said, it's a Sook cover. And this is Countdown Presents The Search for Ray Palmer, issue #1. Came out in 2008. A nice book. This is Greg Horn. Justice League, The Rise of Arsenal, #1 of 4 issue, which is pretty cool. You know, I get Greg Horn and Greg Land mixed up because I think they both, I don't know, I call them the twins because their art is almost identical. I mean, they both do the same type of art. I think they both take magazines and mishmash the photograph and change them into superheroes or whatever, you know, but that's their style, you know, and you can really tell a Horn and a Land cover. This book, oh man, I went to my comic book shop and I was waiting to talk to the owner because we were trying to work out a deal. And while I was waiting, I was flipping through, he had like a small short box on the counter, like 3 of them. I started flipping through them just, you know, to waste some time. And I came across this book. And he had it in his short box for $10. And significance of this book is the death of Sharon Carter, for 1. But it's a 40-cent price variant, 2. And 3, the book is mint. I mean, there's no spine text. All 4 corners are sharp. This book is like it just came off the press. And for $10, I could not pass this book up. I would not pass this book up. Oh, man. Because I collect price variants. I love price variants. And I collect them. And they're worth, like if this book was in the standard form, 35-cent price tag, I think it still would be like a $10 to $15 book. But because of this being a price variant and being more of a rarer book, expect to pay $50 for this book. I could be wrong. I've been wrong in the past. But like I said, I do not. If I can get price variants cheap, I am taking them. The Rick and Morty phenomenon is like taking over. I don't understand because I don't watch the cartoon, but I respect it because it's like Rick and Morty books are pretty valuable if you have the right ones. This is the fried pie variant for issue #1. and I figured I'd pick it up. It's only $5.99. I wasn't going to argue over it. My first Rick and Morty. Went to the comic book shop today, but I already had these two. This is Totally Awesome Hulk number 21 and Totally Awesome Hulk number 20. Both these books are supposed to be commanding a pretty good premium, close to $15 through $20 a piece. But I was in my comic book shop today getting two long boxes, and he had two stacks of both of these books, at least 15 copies each, sitting there. And I will probably go back tomorrow, maybe pick up two more copies of each, because this book is like super, super hot because of the new character that's being introduced in it. Happy. Okay, this book at first, when it first came out by Grant Morrison, this book was hot. This is issue number 1 of 4. This book was hot, and then it was optioned and then forgotten about. Now it definitely is going to be a television show premiering in November. If you got this book, I would hold on to it because it's got, I can't think of the man's name, but I know he was in Law and Order, Morani, I'm sorry. And you got Patton Oswalt voicing the character of the Blue Unicorn. Hopefully it's a winner. I hope it's a winner because then the book will go up and I'll be happy along with happy. Pick this one out. I figured I'd show it. This is Captain Universe Silver Surfer number 1. And this book is kind of intriguing to me because Silver Surfer in his own right is one of the most powerful beings in Marvel Universe. But with the power of Captain Universe added to it, I mean, there's nothing he can't do. DC first. Batgirl, the Joker. What more can you say? This is like the iconic pairing of the two, with Batgirl like she's kind of like hiding from the Joker. I guess I would too if I was shot through the abdomen and paralyzed for a while. But you got Cassandra Cain, Batgirl in the background. I just like this cover. I like it. It's a Kevin Nolan cover. I always liked his art. Pretty clean lines. His facial gestures are pretty good, you know. Now this book, wanted to ask, maybe somebody can enlighten me on this book. Apparently, one of my comic book shops, they have this book in their showcase for $20. All right, this book was in the dollar bin for a long time. In fact, I got like 2 or 3 copies of this. Why is this book worth that much? Can anybody enlighten me on this book? Why? I think he might have put it in there by mistake from some, maybe false information from somebody, but I don't know. And I just want to be sure because I got it in my, the other copies are in my other bin, my first issue bins. You know, extra first issues I throw into a different type of bin. Here's another book I got for $1, and this book should start jumping in price too. It's New Mutants number 1. You know, you could find this. This is another dollar bin book that you can find readily available, along with X-Force 1, quite a few other books. Actually, the X-Force Annual, really the true first appearance of Gambit, that was in the dollar bins for a long time. You know. Now, that's picking up steam. That's a $30 book. This book has gained some steam. Batman Gotham Adventures, all because of that. All because of that. Any of those cartoon Batman books that have Harley on the cover is guaranteed gold. They are worth a little bit of money, you know. And if you see them in the wild, if you see them at comic book shop in the dollar bins, because that's where you find most of these superhero animated books, in the dollar bins. But the thing is, they don't all show up. A lot of these don't show up because the print runs are so low. So, like I said, if you can get a hold of them, grab them. Batman, the Brave and the Bold, #1. I just threw this in because I like the cover. But like I said, I collect not only superheroes but the animated cartoons too. And threw this one into Avengers #1. It's the first one of the Avengers cartoon animated line. A lot of YouTubers are picking this book up. I got this book today. I made sure to go look for this book today. Everybody is hunting this book down. It's an Adam Hughes cover for Legionnaires, #16. And it's a great, great cover. Dream Girl turning around, noticing somebody's taking a rear shot, and she's giving them that look like, okay. But the only problem I have with Dream Girl, they don't have her birthmark on her face, which is that little star. It looks like a birthmark, but actually there's a little star on her face. I don't see it, unless it's on the other cheek, face cheek. I got a copy of this in the dollar bin. This is, I got 1, 2, 3, I'm missing 4, and I got 5. So, Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel is a hot book. It's calmed down a little bit, but it's still a hot book because of the low print run. Alex Garner, I get him and Art Germ mixed up a lot. But their art is so closely in resemblance. But this is an Alex Garner cover from New Exile, #9. It's a cool book. I picked this up because you never know. This is Spider-Girl #93. This is Norman Osborn in the symbiote suit. I guess he calls himself Dusk. I don't know if this is the first appearance. I think this is the first full appearance. I think 92 is more of a cameo appearance. But in this day and age, significant first appearances of significant characters changing over into something else. And this is a different universe, so I don't know. Anything can happen. And last but not to be the least, I found this wizard. Back in the day, I used to have all these wizards. I threw them in a trash can. But now it's like wizards are like the collectible thing. I still have my wizard #1 though. I kept that one. And at one time I kept 1 through 10, but I didn't have the space. I let 2 through 10 go. But this is issue #62, and what's so significant about this issue here is the cover. It's a J. Scott Campbell cover of Spider-Man. I think this is the first, and maybe I don't know if he did Spawn before. I'm not going to say only or the first and only. I'll just say this is early Spawn by J. Scott Campbell on the cover, which isn't too bad because normally J. Scott Campbell to me can't really handle men. You know, he's more or less a female. I call him a female good girl artist, reminiscent of Bill Ward. Back in the days when Bill Ward did comic book called Torchy, which was highly popular back in the day. He was like the top artist for good girl art, and we have good girl artists today. You got Frank Cho, Adam Hughes, Dave Stevens. I can't think of the other guys. Oh well, Art Germ. And a few others, but this one kind of caught my eye. Got this one from the dollar bin also. Well, guys, I think that's my haul. Other two, well, a couple books weren't really books. They're more graphic novels that I really dug. And if you get a chance, you know, if they're still around, you know, I highly recommend Batman Earth 1 and Earth 2. Now, the Superman Earth 1, Volume 1 and Volume 2, I never got. I saw it, flipped through it. I didn't like the art in it. I didn't like the way it looked. Could be wrong. I might have missed a great story. But at that time, if the art and the story don't match up for the price you have to pay for these, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I said I ain't had nothing else to show, but my gamer part of me, well, my past gamer life, been a while since I've been a true gamer. Halo graphic novel. This company, Bungie, should have made a Halo movie, but I think the time has kind of passed. The boat has sailed on. But I love me some Halo back in the day. I mean, you couldn't tear me off my Xbox. Me and my sons, when they were younger, oh man, we used to link up Xboxes and have at it. You know, they couldn't beat the old dad though. Now they can tear the fur off old dad. But yeah, Halo was it. And truly, if Xbox didn't have Halo, there wouldn't be an Xbox. I'm sorry. I don't think they would have invested the money into it. Halo was the monster that roared, you know. And boy, I tell you, those were the good old days. Well, that's enough reminiscing, and my video is already at 25 minutes. This is Bad Avenger. I'm signing off, and I want everybody to have a great night. And you people, y'all guys in Texas, please listen to the news. Evacuate if you have to. You know, nothing's more valuable than your life, you know, and your family. Take care of your families, and, you know, pray that, you know, this passes over and there's no loss of life. You know, this kind of stuff that we got can always be replaced, but you can't replace your life. You know, y'all guys take care, and I am out.